So what do we have here? This is one of my buddies had his Mevo Plus. He doesn't have his setup yet, so he got it in. He wanted me to come on over. I told him he could come hit it over here, make sure it's all working and everything, and I could go over with him and show him how it works. So with that, thought it'd be a good opportunity just to take you from unboxing it all the way through till we get to the end. So you get your box and you're gonna open it up, okay? And very simple. Open it up, there you go. Nice little note, appreciating the patience during COVID-19 shutdown. That's been tough on everybody, I know that feeling. So, you get your nice case that you can travel in. Ooh, that's a little new. Nice little Flightscope. There we go. And then we open it up. So, there we go. Here's the unit. So you've got your charging brick. A lot of talk about that. Make sure that we are using that, plus using the supplied cable. That's important. Okay, so don't lose those. And what you'll see is we've actually got like a little green dot, if we can see that. Let's see. There you go. Maybe I'm a little too close. But little green dot in there, that's going to tell you that that's the one that you should be going with. So we'll put that over here. Okay. And then we've got our unit. We've got our lens cleaner. We've got our carabiner for the case. We'll set that over here. And we've got some of the paperwork. You've got your simulator angle. This is going to help you find the 12 degrees that you need for your simulator. So you can do that. And then we've got our stickers. You know, again, I don't use these. Use these if you need it. If you're not getting good enough reads, this is when you would use these. All right, so let's get to the unit. It's been a while since I've opened one of these, as you can tell through my struggles. There we go. There it is. Pull this tab out. That's gonna take it and do the battery. And ooh, there we go. Man, they are so pretty when they're out of the box. You know what's different? It doesn't say Mevo Plus right here. It says it on the back now. Hey, there you go. All right, let's get to setting this bad boy up. All right, so one thing that you're probably going to pay attention to the most in the setup is when they give you your directions for setting up your simulator, the diagram here. So what you're looking at, again, it's going to have some of the basics that you hear about. You want to have 8 foot to the screen. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up for you, but you want to have 8 foot to the screen for when you're hitting. You want to have 8 foot from the unit to the ball. That's recommended distance that you would like. You also are looking at, you want to have your hitting mat. And on this diagram, they show that they have a putting strip off to the side. Now, what I find the reason for that is because, you know, most hitting surfaces, you're going to be hitting and then the ball falls off as you go. Now, that's something that you don't want when you're trying to read putts. You want as much rolling as you can for your putting. So what they recommend you do is get a putting strip that you place to the side of the unit that you're going to be able to get a read and see that ball roll. So when you actually see them set this up on the diagram, you're going to see that they have the center of the Mevo Plus, you know, so that's this silver button, right, your power button, and you're going to see they have that actually set right in between the two golf balls. So, you know, you don't even have it centered on where the golf ball is at. So just something to pay attention to there. That's a recommended layout. You can see if you've watched my videos, and I'll have more, you see my setup, I actually just extended the strip that I hit off of, and it seems to work fine. But again, try and mess around with it, ask some questions about what your setup should be as you go. So from there, I mean, a pretty basic unboxing. It's all really plug and play, ready to go. The only thing you might have to do, let's see if we have to charge it out of the box. So we'll start it up. We do a load. It looks like this one's actually charged, so that's good. And it takes about 30 seconds to load up, in case you're wondering. And once you hear that beep, we're ready to roll. So you can see you got the blue light and you got 4 greens. The 4 greens meaning that this unit is fully charged, and now we're waiting to connect, and then what you'll see is it gets armed. But we'll go over all that. Let's get it set up, ready to play right out of the box here. All right, so let's get this set up so we can play and get going. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do iOS first. And what I'm gonna do is connect to this unit's Wi-Fi. So all I have to do is go into my Wi-Fi settings. You're gonna see, it's gonna say FSM2, and then it's gonna actually have the serial number of your device. So that's what you're gonna connect to. From there, we are then going to type in the password, which is just that serial number. So we're gonna get that in there. 4985. We'll connect. Should go through. Takes a couple of seconds. It's not the, you're not going to connect instantly a lot, but that was pretty quick. We're already there. So what I can do then is go into my FS Golf app, and we should be ready to roll pretty quick there. Sometimes it might ask you to scan the QR code, but in this case, since we connected to the Wi-Fi beforehand, we did not need to. So one thing, when you get a new unit, you're probably going to have to update the firmware. Anytime you get your iPad connected to the internet, go on to FS Golf, it's going to check and download any of your updates, your firmwares. So if you're not connecting this to the internet, you sometimes need to just make sure you connect to the internet once in a while. So like for me, for an example, I don't keep my internet connected on this iPad, because what I want to have happen is, as soon as I turn on the device, I want it to automatically connect to the Wi-Fi of the device. So I just like that, again, being in here, doing things faster. So I just have to remember once in a while to go on and check, and then we'll do that. So I'm gonna click update while we're doing that, and it'll take a few minutes to do this, but it shouldn't take too long, and we'll let that run. But again, that's something you can do as you go. Just get yourself updated. Make sure if you're just downloading the FS Golf app, you should have the latest update of that, but you can see already done. We are ready to roll. So we will go from there. All right, so now that we've got our update, what I'm gonna do is actually just get this set up to hit. We should be already ready to go. So let's say I wanted to start a session. I should be able to do it. If I do that, I should be able to get in and have everything ready to go. But we'll see that we're not going to be lined up by just having everything. But if you just want to test it out and make sure everything's working, this is what you're going to get. You saw when we connected, we had a blue light and then we had a bunch of greens. What we're actually looking for, if you have everything set up correctly, what you're going to see is our second light here is actually going to turn red. That means it's armed, ready to go. You can see when I pick the unit up and I'm going to adjust the tilt of it, I don't have the correct setup anymore. I'm off on the roll. You can see that in the top right of the screen on the unit. And so now it's not armed anymore. So that red light's not going. So what I've found, and it got better with updates, but anytime you had any issues like in E6, you would be playing and maybe a shot doesn't register. First thing I would do is just check this light, make sure it's armed. You know, we'd have to do this on TrackMan and X3s as well. Pretty much any launch monitor, you're gonna have to probably do this at some point, where you just have to go rearm it. And so the way you do that in E6, I'll show you later, but you would just recalibrate and then it gets ready to go. But let's get it set up and get testing it out on some shots. All right, so we're down here at ground level. So I've already got my space obviously marked off. So I have it sit on this board, which is 8 foot 2 inches away. If you're not sure what your dimensions are, make sure you measure those out. Get a tape measure. This isn't the time to kind of eyeball things. I would get the exact measurements of what you're looking for. What's also nice is this sits even with my hitting surface. Yeah, is there a little bit of a gap? Yes, and I hear some people struggle with that, but for me, I haven't had any issues with that. So this setup has worked really good for me. Plus, what I like is I have this board. If I get the unit set square to the board, you know, if I have to do a quick alignment, then I know that's already set and correct. So I can do it quick in case somebody bumps it or something like that. Now, what we'll do, especially on the first go, is we're gonna go into our app. What you do is click the top right part of the screen where it says connected in your mode. You're gonna click that. It's gonna show you all your numbers. If they're green for the roll, you're in good shape. If it's green for the tilt. Tilt is gonna be, you know, front and back. So if I tilt it forward, it's gonna be tilted too far forward. If I tilted it back too far, it would be too far back. For the Flightscope app, if you pretty much tilt the legs all the way out, you're gonna be in the green. So you should be good. If you're gonna be playing, that's where you use your simulator angle and you would actually stand the unit up a little bit. That helps it see your shorter shots. So, and then your roll would just be left and right if it's not level. On these Mevo Pluses, you have to make sure it's level. If you get a higher quality, you know, not higher quality, if you get an upper scale unit like an X3, it has auto leveling legs for you. So that's all right. That's why we don't, that's what you get with $2,000 unit, which is awesome. We can take care of leveling the unit. So from there, I'm just gonna click my target alignment, make sure I get this set, and we're as easy as that. We're ready to roll, okay? So let's test it out, hitting some shots and see what we get. All right, here we go. Moment of truth, first shot. There it goes. There it goes. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. So we'll see it. There's our club data. Everything seems normal. Spin seems normal. So I think we're in good shape. So you can see, I mean, other than talking you through it, I mean, from if you're kind of ready to go and ready to, with everything, I mean, once you get it, you can be hitting golf balls within 5 minutes and ready to roll on it. So really good, ready to roll. And there we go. So let's talk you through just a setup of E6 really quick before we sign this off. Let's just get you going through the E6 software and we'll take you there. But I'm just gonna do that and show you it. I'm not gonna pair his unit to my iPad. I don't wanna waste his code. So we will just show you how we get through and set that part up. All right, so one of the biggest issues that I see or hear about is, you know, getting things set up in E6 now, because you are using 2 different apps. So you have to make sure that you set things up correctly. And you have to do this in any of the apps that you do. They don't talk to each other. So you do have to put your own settings. You know, they're different developers. E6 is made by TrueGolf. Awesome Golf is made by a different company. Flightscope makes their own app there, FS Golf. So you do have to get your settings set into that app. So let's go ahead. We're going to fire up E6 now. One thing that's important, if you haven't done so, make sure you close out that FS Golf app on your iPad, because otherwise you're going to still be connected to that and it's not going to work. So close it out. Now we're going to go into E6, E6 Connect. Again, the first time you do this, I would recommend you're connected to the internet to make sure everything is updated. On mine, I'm already updated, ready to go. So from there, I'm gonna go offline mode. Now, there is a way to use the internet that we're looking at if you don't have a cellular iPad, but we're gonna test that out a little further and then share it with you. But then we're gonna get into it. So if I'm already connected, you're gonna see it appears with the green Flightscope check mark connected in the top left. That's gonna let you know you're connected to your device. Again, you do it the same way. You just go to your settings in your iPad, connect to that Wi-Fi of the unit, you should be good to go. Now, when we get in here, very important, I wanna go to this gear icon on the bottom right and hit settings. And then the first thing I wanna do is go to simulator. You should see that you are on your Flightscope tracking system. It should say that it is set up. You wanna hit configure, okay? From here, I wanna make sure that I get my settings the same as what I did in my Flightscope Golf app. So I had 8'2" for the tee to the sensor distance. I'm on short indoor mode. You can align the camera from there. Do note, you have to align the camera before you start the round. It won't let you do it in the middle of the round. So do that beforehand, and then you would just hit accept and keep going back. Now, this is also where if you want to change any of your gameplay options, you know, for me, you can see I do computer decides putting, but if you want to look at the player putting out, that's where you would have to actually make everything. You'd have a gimme. That's where if you have to putt until the ball gets within a certain distance of the hole. Typically it's 10 feet. If you've played E6, you know, anywhere like a simulator place or anything like that, that's typically what you play. And then one thing I like to do is actually turn that auto continue down to 3 seconds, just to speed things up a little bit. That's helpful when you're on the range. Otherwise you have to wait 5 seconds in between each shot and then you can hit. So I just like to do that. And then you can go through any of those settings as you go through any more. Environment, you can do that as far as, you know, how firm and fast everything is, and go from there, and then you're ready to play. From there, if you're using the free version, which is what I have on this iPad, you're just gonna continue in and play. You're gonna add a guest. You can log in if you're connected to the Wi-Fi. Again, we're testing that with the iPad. On my computer setup, which we do have 2 Wi-Fi connections on, we're able to just log in and keep my profile. So we're gonna test our other way here and see what we got, but we'll let you know about that. Again, we wanna do a little more testing on that. But right now you'd log in as a guest or put your name in. If you need to change any tees, you hit this little pencil icon, change the tees, change your right-handed, left-handed if you need to, any of that stuff. And then you would continue on, stroke play, and there's the 5 courses that you can play as you have with the free version out of the box. So again, really, really simple. Take that extra couple minutes on the first go round. It's always exciting to get it. I mean, a super powerful device in such a small package, easy to use package. You can just get it up, ready to roll, and you are playing really quick, especially if you've had a little bit of time. By the way, this is my buddy's. It took him about 7 weeks to get this, so I know there's reports that it's taking longer, but this one in particular was 7 weeks, so that's good news for people. I think, again, with COVID and all that stuff, we were seeing some delays, but it's starting to come down. They're starting to get caught up, which is always good to see in here. So again, if you have questions about this, we're gonna have some more with how to do it. I'm gonna show you how I connect to my computer setup and everything now, but if you have questions about how to use the iOS or anything, please let me know.